Hello, and we're back, and right now we are going to go over how to make controls for a leg. So we're going to make a foot control, and we are also going to create a ball control. So the ball control is going to move the ball joint, and the foot control will be moving the entire leg. So first things first is let's create a NURB circle, which I did. I put it onto my shelf, but you can always go to create NURBS primitive circle. So now that we've made this, we're going to hit W, and we're going to press V to snap it to our ankle. We're also going to freeze transformations, delete history, and rename it. And we're going to call it CC underscore foot. CC underscore L for left underscore foot 01. So this is going to be our foot control. And the next thing we are going to do now that we've snapped it properly is we're going to hit, sorry about that. We're going to hit, go into side mode, so right view. And we're going to go into component mode. We're going to select all the components. So I drag selected them, and then I'm going to move them so that they are flush with the bottom of the character's foot. And we're just going to make them a little bit bigger, go back into perspective view if it lets me. Come on, there we go. And then we are going to just shape our object. Let me drag select the whole thing. We are going to shape it so that it is around the foot, which is great. I'm going to actually make it so that my character is in reference mode so that I can more clearly see how this is positioned around my character's foot. Let's bring this in a bit. Let's definitely bring this one in a lot. Does not have to be perfect, but it does have to be selectable. So whatever is best for your animator, and that could be you. All right, so now that this is done, we can put this back into template mode. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is we are going to create a locator. And we're going to snap that locator here. Now there's a quick way to do this. It's the LAT tool. We have the mouse script as a button on our shelf. Let's go through the slow process first. So to orient this correctly, I'm going to select my ankle joint, select my locator, shift select my locator, constrain orient with maintain offset not checked. Then I can get rid of the constraint, and as you can see, my locator is oriented properly. Now with my locator selected, I'm going to shift select my ankle again and do constrain orient one more time. And now, as you can see, it's going to rotate that around really well. Let's make the locator a little bit smaller. We're going to make it 0.5. And with my locator selected, I'm going to shift select my control and hit P to parent. So now if we select the control, it'll rotate everything, which is great. Okay, so now that I've done that, I need to make it so that the control also moves my entire foot up. So in order to do that, let's select my locator, which by the way I have not named, so let's name it. So it's going to be Locator underscore L underscore foot 01, which is great. So with my locator selected, now my foot control, sorry about that. With my foot control selected, I'm going to select my IK handle. I had to turn off my character so I could see what was going on. So once again, select your foot control, then your IK handle, and we are going to point constrain. Let's uncheck maintain offset and hit apply. And if nothing happens, that means it worked. So let's select just the foot control and test it out. And indeed it did. So we want to save that. So I'm going to do file, save scene as, and we are going to call this 3A. All right, so now we just need this to be on the other side. So in order to do that, we're actually going to select our foot control and we're going to mirror it. So we're going to use the MRT tool on our shelf, and that's going to totally mirror it, but we need to rename things. So we're going to search and replace name, search for underscore L underscore, replace with underscore R underscore. And you can find search and replace names under modify if it is not under your shelf. All right. We need to get rid of this locator though, because that locator was not oriented to the joint. So the fast way to do this is with the LAT tool, which I'm going to use right now to speed up my process. It's the exact same steps that we took previously to orient the locator properly. And then to get it to move, we select our locator, shift select our joint, and constrain orient. To get, so now if we tested this out, we can see that it's rotating the foot. To get it so that our foot actually moves, our control moves our foot, we select our foot control, shift select our IK handle, and constrain point. And now if I select this, it does indeed move, which is great. All right, so now what we need to do is make both of our locators invisible. And so we're going to turn them off. Yay. Though this locator needs to be parented to the foot, which it wasn't. That's a problem. All right, so now I should be able to rotate this and I should be able to move this. And yeah, that's great. And actually, if we made this visible, see, it'll now move with the entire foot chain. All right, so let's make it invisible again. And next thing that we need to do is create a ball joint control. So I'm just going to use another circle. And I'm going to hit pressing B to snap it. And then I'm going to rotate it. Now you can press J and that'll rotate incrementally, which is really great. So rotate it at 90 degrees, which is wonderful. And now that that's done, we need to freeze transformations and delete history on our circle. Let's make our character visible and let's go into component mode. And we're going to make this smaller, move it above the leg, put our character in reference mode, and move this out. All right, now that that is done, let's put our character back in template mode. We're going to use the LAT tool again. And we're going to make this considerably smaller. Let's try 0.3. Before we go any further, I'm going to just mirror this control. So let's MRT it, so it's over there, okay. And while we're at it, we might as well LAT. Let's see. LAT, there we go. And we'll make this 0.3. Be mindful of what you're selecting. I keep accidentally selecting numerous things, which is kind of ridiculous, but it's just kind of how it is. All right, so with my locator on the left selected, I'm going to shift select the ball control and do constrain orient. And then I'm going to select my locator, shift select the actual ball control, and hit P to parent. You know what would also help is to name the ball control. So let's call it CC underscore L underscore ball 01. I am going to copy this name and then go here to the other one on the right hand, rename it, change it to R. All right, so this locator, I'm going to select it, select the joint, constrain orient, and then I am going to select the locator, select the control, hit P to parent, and let's test it out. It works great. Let's test this out. Works great. All right, so lastly, what we need to do is we need to change the coloration on this. So the way that we can do this is we can go to the modeling toolkit, attribute editor. And let me just twirl these up. So we're going to go to the shape node, twirl down object display, twirl down drawing overrides, enable overrides, and we are going to find the color. So blue for the left-hand side and enable overrides, red for the right-hand side. Or we also have a Mel script which does it for us instantaneously. On our shelf. So lastly, what we need to do is we need to select our ball controls and we need to parent them to our foot control. So I'm going to select my ball control, select my foot control, and hit P to parent. And as you can see, now both of them are going to work in conjunction with one another, which is great. So lastly, what I want to do is kind of clean up things a little bit. So I'm going to put both of my foot controls, I'm going to drag them into control objects. I'm going to put my joints under joints. And I'm going to put my IK handles under IKs. And next lesson, we are going to do the knee controls. All right, bye-bye.